Hi, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Unicorn TV, episode 13. Okay, that drives me kind of nuts. Hold on. So while people are joining, I'm going to go ahead and navigate to... Oops, turn that off. Navigate to my page so that I can see the comments, because apparently when you schedule one, it doesn't show you the comments. It's very weird, like while it's live. So, okay. So, today on, of course, it's like slow as molasses as well for me to be able to do that. So I'm having issues. Never a dull moment, you guys, when you have your own business, I swear. So today on Unicorn TV, let me introduce myself first. So, I'm Holly Tack. I'm a messaging strategist. I help ladies get clear on their messaging and get really confident with communicating it through their writing, through their website, through their social media, through everything, and really marry that with a strategy that is designed around getting them clients. So that is what I do as a messaging strategist, and I love it. And my vision for the world is really that I've always pictured an army of women that are doing work that they love and making an impact. That impact is by the actual work they're doing, but it's also by the fact that they're happy and fulfilled, which just translates to, has all this side effect with, their family and all this stuff, and like the whole world is made a better place. So that's my vision, and I do it by being a messaging strategist, and Unicorn TV is just a bi-weekly show that I do on Tuesdays and Thursdays, where I cover tactics, tips, tricks, and mindset and different topics that are all designed around helping you to unleash your inner unicorn self and create that business of your dreams. So, on this episode, I am talking about what no one really tells you about, sorry, I'm like sweating for some reason, what no one really tells you about selling. So, this is the stuff that I have been learning and working on mastering, and it's really changed how I view the process, and I just wanted to share that with you to see if it will help you. And it should be pretty quick because I have really just one main tip that I want to share, and yeah, so it shouldn't be as long as the last episode, which was more like 30 minutes, but yeah, so I'm going to get into it, but first I'm going to pull a unicorn card to see what the unicorns have to tell us about selling. So, here we go. I'm asking the deck, what does it want us to know about selling? And shuffling it a few times. This is really like, I use the cards I just use because I feel like it's a fun way to just bring a different flair into my day. I don't do it every day, but, I do it like every other day. I do it on these broadcasts a lot lately. And it's just like a way to have more fun. So let's see. Okay. I love how this is alive because now you can see that it's like one of those days where it's a card that I just, right off the bat, I'm like, I don't know how that relates. So I'm no expert at this. So let's see. So I must not have been like focused enough on the question. Oh my god, I like don't know the alphabet or something. Okay. maybe it's just relevant to me personally. I don't know. So, or you or whatever. So it actually says grandparent. So that's why I've got a little like what. So it's basically that you have a special bond with a grandparent that can never be broken, and your grandparents are, supporting you. And so, for me personally, I don't really know my grandparents, and so I haven't really had them in my life for most of my life. But you know what? If they're watching out for me during this time of really starting my business, I mean, I started it, but like having my own business, then so be it. I can take all the support I can get. So you have someone in your family, maybe a parent figure or older family member that is caring for you, whether they're alive or not. So who knows? Sometimes that happens where you, like, not all the time, but sometimes I'm like, I don't know. So, all right, let's get into the scoop. So, sorry, I just dropped that. So what no one's telling you about selling, this has been a big learning point for me as I get on the phone with more people and really try to master this skill, which I've just never, up to this point, never really made an effort to master. I know that sounds weird, right? Because I told you guys on the last broadcast that I actually made, I've made like over $20,000 and obviously involved some selling, but it was never really learning how to talk to people and get to know them in a way that can, sell them into a program I'm doing if it's a fit for them, right? So part of the conversation is getting to know if it's a fit for them or not. But the main thing I want to tell you guys today is that it's all about really the value. It's about the value and that end result. So the value of your program is really getting them to that end result. It doesn't have anything to do with the, like the method you're delivering it in, like 2 calls and one blah, 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 and 1 intensive and this and that. Like, that's really not the value. The value is that end result that the person wants that you can help them get. So in my case, it's getting them clear on their strategy. I'm just drinking my Creo brew here. So it's getting them clear on their messaging and their copy, getting their copy written. They write their copy. They learn how to write really well in a way that feels unique and true to them because they're doing their own writing. And then, but even that is not really the value. What's the value of all of it? The value is that it gets you noticed, and that ultimately allows you to attract clients. When you have your messaging really clear, you know what you stand for, and you're very consistent with communicating it out, people start to notice. And that is just a fact, okay? People, look at any person that you admire and their business, and chances are they are extremely consistent. Maybe not on the same platforms as you, but they're either emailing their list a certain amount of times a week, they're posting on social media a certain amount of times, they're doing things really consistently, and they're not posting about, travel tips to go to Bali on one day, and then the other day they're like, how to start a blog, they're not necessarily doing that, and, I don't know if that was a good example or not, but, you get it, they're not all over the place with, their posts. They're not posting about, their how to take care of a dog one day and how to travel the next day. It's not about, that's very confusing. If you go, their content is going to be a certain way. And my favorite example of this is Oprah. She's obviously been around for a long time, and she has a big business, but you know what to expect from her, and it's been like that for years. I remember watching Oprah with my mom when I was a young kid, and it was always inspirational stories and thought-provoking stuff, and spiritual stuff now even, and it was just always that kind of stuff. You just knew you were going to be uplifted when you tuned into Oprah. And I think that, that consistency has paid off for her over time, right? She's extreme high achiever in terms of what she's accomplished. And you can have that too, okay? I'm not saying you'll be Oprah tomorrow, but if you get really clear on your message and really clear on the value you bring, you can really get people to notice you if you indicate that. So how does this actually relate to selling? I'm going to talk about having phone calls with people, so discovery calls. So when you have a discovery call with somebody, you're talking to them on the phone, and I have found it to be way more fun to actually give them something that they can do, whether they buy from me or not, that they can take and they can implement and actually make a change with. So that's adding value to their life without necessarily getting, regardless, just by the fact that we're on the phone, I want to be adding value to their life. So that has made it so much more fun to me, and it goes back to my previous point of really knowing the value that you bring, and another aspect of that is like the problem that you solve, like really knowing those two things and bringing them to the table. So here's how that would look. For example, sorry, just checking, I finally got it pulled up to see if there's comments, and now it's like I don't think there is. So knowing the value is like so important, and it's not based in the nitty-gritty like logistics of the program. So I see a lot of people make that mistake. They're like, come, say you want to get somebody onto a discovery call. They say, come book a free 30-minute discovery call with me, and that's it. And like, that's not what I would recommend. That's kind of all about you, because you're like, book a discovery call with me. Like, it's all about you. Like, what is somebody really getting out of having that call? Well, in my case, if they booked a call with me, they would get a real, actual plan that has nothing to do with buy my product before I got to that point of the conversation. So the better way that I could get people to book a call with me is to say, let's get on the phone to determine your plan to get your first client. So it's very clear, like, if I talk to this person, then I'm going to leave with a plan that can help me get my first client. So that makes me want to do it more than just saying, oh, book a free call with me. Like, you want to. It's like, no, I don't know I want to. You need to tell me why. So focusing on the value is really important in sales. Like, what is the value to that person? And it's not the value to you. It's the value to them. So focusing on what they get out of it is so important. And this isn't just for getting people on calls. It's also for your blog posts or anything that you do with your writing. It's like, you go at the project of writing something with the thought, like, what is the value that I have to give to one person reading this? And keep that in mind the whole time that you're writing. So this really gets people to take action, and eventually, like, action taking will lead to a sale, right? You get people to book a call with you, or you get them to book, download your freebie or whatever it is. Like, eventually that is along the path to get a paying client. So it's really important to be super clear on the value to that person, and also the problem that they need solved, and speaking to that. So that's something I could get into in another episode, but it's about, like, what's really the problem for them? Like, I know that most people are missing a core message and they don't know it, but I'm not going to speak into, like, you have to know this without addressing how it relates to the actual problem that they're feeling every day, which is that they don't have enough clients. That's the problem that they're feeling every day, and then the value I bring through the tool of getting them clear on their message is to get them more clients. So, but I really talk more about the pain point they experience every day, and I would, instead of saying, like, let's get on a call to get clear on your message, which they may or may not know that they need to do, it's better to say, let's get on a call to talk about a plan to get clear on how to get your first client. Okay? So I hope that makes sense. Sorry, I turned off the fan to do this, and I'm, like, sweating. I don't think you can tell on the camera that bad, but I can feel it. So that's all I wanted to share. What no one really says about selling I mean, people say this, but it's really about the value. And the reason that I'm saying like no one really says it is I think people who are new or people who haven't invested in professional support or whatever, they don't realize that and they word things to be more about them and like not be clear on the value. So make sure you're always being clear on what the value is to the person that you want to work with versus just saying like book a call with me. So that's what people aren't saying. And the reason that this makes it more effective and fun and easier is, again, like it's more effective and it's easier because people are more enticed to take whatever action you want them to take, whether it's buying or just getting on a call. And it's more fun because you actually feel like you're helping people. Like, wouldn't it feel so much better to spend a week spend a week taking action to get somebody on the phone with you, right? Like posting, inviting people to calls, etc. Wouldn't it feel better to spend a week doing that? So either way, you're going to get one person. Let's say you're going to get one person to book by Friday. Wouldn't it feel better to spend today and tomorrow actually like giving value and having people along the way say, wow, that really helped me. Wow, that really helped me. Wouldn't that feel better than just like, saying, book a call with me, book a call with me, book a call with me, and not getting any feedback along the way to getting that call booked? I don't know about you, but it feels way better for me along the way to know that I'm helping people regardless of if they are buying from me or not. So make sure that you know your value and that you're communicating it. And I actually was speaking to somebody right before this, and I gave them this idea for a tweak that they could do on their Facebook Lives to, get people on the phone to talk to them about buying some healthy home products. And, the tweak I suggested was instead of just, talking about the products and being like, buy, how about you just have a system where they can book a call and you really sell them on what's the value of having the products, right? The value is having a safe home for your family because you're not spreading chemicals all around your environment. So why don't you invite them, you talk about the products or whatever, or how important it is to have a safe home, and then you say, do you want to come up with your own plan to have a safe home? Let's talk on the phone. So that was the tweak I gave her. So it was all about like, instead of like discover these products, it was about let's really talk about how you can have a safe home. And she can give them advice like, make sure you don't get products that have this and this and this ingredient in it. And it's like actual stuff that they could write down and implement whether they buy her products or not. But chances are they're going to give her products a try because they like her and, they get to have that conversation with her where she helps them anyway by just telling them what to avoid. And then it just makes sense to like, why not just buy from you too? So that's how it looks in real life. That's literally a real life example of a conversation I just had with somebody. So if you're interested in talking about this to me and getting to know like your unique value and how you can express that when you're inviting your audience to take action, to talk to you on the phone, or even when you're on the phone with them, I would love to help you get clear on your value so that you know how to do this. So if you want to book a call, it's, and here I am, I'm doing just what I'm telling you to do. You can book a call to get clear on, get your own unique value at bit.ly/first-client-game-plan. So on that call, we can come up with your first client game plan or even your next client if you already have clients. But if it doesn't feel like it's consistent or whatever, or just doesn't feel like it's flowing as easily as you would like it to get clients, then you may not be talking about your value and knowing your value. So I would love to just help you get to know what your value is on a free call. So the call is 30 minutes and the link is in the description of the video. And that is all I have to share today. I just have one last housekeeping announcement, which is that on Tuesday, we have an episode, same time, 1:30 PST, and I'm interviewing Ashley of Hello Big Idea, which is a graphic design / web design studio. They actually designed my website. And I am interviewing her. Well, we're kind of like both talking to each other about branding and how important it is to attract clients. And branding is not just your visual, it also is your words. Because you can't have a website with no words, you know, and when people think I need a website, I feel like the tendency is to automatically go to, okay, a logo and the colors and the design. And that's obviously a big part of a website, but you can't have a website with no words either. So they both need to work together. And so we're going to be talking about that on the interview on Tuesday. I really hope you can join. And we're also going to announce a super awesome, cool project, a free project that's meant to help you significantly with this stuff. So if you want in on that, it's on Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. PST, this same Facebook page. And please tune in and you can hear that announcement live. All right, so that's all I had to share. Think about what your value is, and if you want to talk to me directly about how you can get clear on your value, just book a call. The link is in the description of the video. All right, bye everyone.